My name is Dan Albertsolis, and I'll be doing my story time on the Odyssey. So, the Odyssey is an epic told by the Greek author Homer, and this is about the journey of Odysseus, who was stranded after his attempt to sail back to his home in Ithaca to see his wife and son after the fall of Troy. So, the three main parts of this is the fall of Troy, Odysseus escaping the island, and his return to Ithaca. So, in the fall of Troy was caused due to the Trojan War. That the Trojan War occurred because Alexander took Helen from Menelaus, and so the two sides of the war are the Greeks and the Trojans. So Odysseus, on the Greek side, was one of the war's heroes. So Odysseus, to end the war, devised a plan of the giant Trojan horse. It's a wooden horse, and it was a trap because inside the horse it was hollowed out, and that's where the Greek soldiers hid. So the Trojans discovered the horse and also saw that the Greeks were gone. So they assumed that they had won and took the horse inside the city, past the walls. And because of that, the Greeks were able to ambush the guards from inside and win the war. So post the fall of Troy, Odysseus attempted to sail back to the island but failed and ended up stuck in Calypso's island, where he was held basically captive by Calypso, where she granted him immortality in exchange for him being with her. But he grew tired of staying in that island and wanted to see his wife and son. So thanks to Hermes, who convinced Calypso to let him go, he builds a raft and is able to sail back, but is then wrecked by Poseidon. Now Poseidon, he does not like Odysseus, and this is due to the clash between his son and Odysseus. His son is the Cyclops, and Odysseus had left the Cyclops blinded, and so his raft is wrecked. But thanks to the goddess Athena, she is able to make sure he's still alive, and he ends up in Scheria or Phaeacia, where home of the Phaeacians, and where the Phaeacian princess leads him to the royal palace. And so Homer retells in his epic that his epic encounters throughout his adventure. Some of his stories included like a love affair with a witch named Circe, his encounter with the sirens, who are tempting, and they technically aren't a direct threat, but they lead the afflicted astray. So if you don't have a strong, you can get easily tempted by the sirens and forget what you're doing, and many sailors end up being stuck there. And also he retold his encounter with Poseidon's son, the Cyclops. And so, next part of the story, he's able to return to Ithaca. Now, before he gets there, Athena disguises him as a beggar so that he can stay safe. Right now in Ithaca, the Odysseus palace is overrun by suitors who are trying to get his wife Penelope's hand in marriage, and they want his territory. So he disguised as a beggar so that the suitors don't immediately attempt to kill him, and Odysseus can gain more information about what was going on because he was gone for a really long time. So he reveals himself to his son, and so when the beggar and the son, when they head back to the palace, Penelope has an inkling feeling. He becomes sort of interested in this beggar she thinks that it might be her husband Odysseus. So she ends up organizing a contest to where whoever wins gets her hand in marriage. This contest is to string and fire a bow through a row of 12 axes, and that's a feat that has only ever been completed by Odysseus. So towards the end of the story, he undisguises himself. He ends up winning the contest. He strings a bow and fires an arrow through all 12 axes, which all the suitors fail to do, and along with his son, they slay all of the suitors who have been trespassing at his palace, and the story ends. So the story, the Odyssey, was an epic that's told by the Greek author Homer. It was about Odysseus' journey back to Ithaca after being stranded in Calypso's island, after successfully winning the Trojan War, and he's able to reunite with his wife and son. So that's the end of the story. Thank you for listening.